is the postseason Q&A, and it's off season technically now, but we're doing our postseason Q&A right after the national championship, like we normally do. We always do the postseason Q&A right after the season ends. I've kind of reduced the Q&As to one Q&A a year. So, and I may do more Q&As, we'll see, but I've reduced them to one a year. And it's a special time. Let's make it a special occasion, and it's a special occasion. Q&A, postseason Q&A time, 2025's postseason Q&A for college football. We're ready to rock and roll. Indiana just won the national championship. We got a lot of Indiana questions in here. We're going to get right to the offseason, and we have a lot planned for the offseason as we head in and get ready for the 2026 college football season in fall. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pigskin Frenzy on this beautiful and very chilly, as I'm wearing my, fleece sweater, Felice, I guess, right? On Thursday afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Joel Norris. And whether you're watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify, listening on Apple or Podbean, a big thank you for taking some time out of your Thursday to just sit back, watch, and listen to some college football coverage presented by us. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like each episode, leave comments down below. Spotify, Podbean, and Apple. All you got to do is just share around with others and follow on there as well. X and Instagram is at pigskin_frenzy, and the website is www.pigskinfrenzy.weebly.com. Guys, we are at 6,400 listeners, about to be at 6,500 listeners across all audio platforms. And not only that, we're at 73,000, about to be at 74,000 channel views on YouTube. A big thank you for tuning in each and every Tuesday and Thursday to listening in to college football coverage. Just listening to Pigskin Frenzy, making this your college football show. We're so thankful. We're so appreciative. We are pumped. We're fired up. And we could not do this show without you guys, because it's a we show. It's us, and it's about us. And we cannot do this without you guys. And most importantly, we couldn't do this show without our Lord and Savior, Jesus. We give him all the praise, all the glory, because without him, we would not be doing college football media. We would not be in the college football media space. And we give him all the glory and all the praise. And if you want to come to know him as the best decision you can ever make in your life, contact me. X and Instagram is at pigskin_frenzy. You can also contact me on the website www.pigskinfrenzy.weebly.com. Home and About Me page, contact info down below. It's the best decision you can ever make in your life. Coming to know our Lord and Savior Jesus. He is great. He is so good, and we give him all the praise and all the glory, because that's our calling here as well, just to spread his name across all platforms and across as many places that you can, just declare the name of Jesus. So we give him all the glory and all the praise. Guys, college football postseason Q&A for the 2025 season on Pigskin Frenzy. We had a lot of questions in, a lot more questions than what I'm used to, man. I'm actually pretty proud of what we're building here and what we are doing here for the show. Man, a lot of questions. Right, we got a lot of questions, and we're pumped about it. We're fired up, ready to rock and roll. Now, some I will try to get to all of them. Now, some hopefully I'll get to all of them. I don't know if I can or not. I mean, we may be, maybe 35, 40-minute time limit during the offseason, but we'll see what happens. We will see what happens, see if I can get to all of them. I'm fired up about this. Without any further ado, let's get to them. Let's start answering those questions. The postseason Q&A starts right now. Let's get to it, and let's have it on my handy-dandy notebook over here, my tab over here. So let's go over it. Guys, number one is a good question because it's not been... I haven't really heard it on shows a lot. This is just me. And I think it's a good question to kick it off with and discuss, because I've not heard this one on shows a lot, and other shows, maybe they have talked about it. Maybe I'm just not listening to the full episodes. I don't know. But I haven't seen clips or any interviews or things on this. I've just seen it on the X machine here on the cellular device. So, number one, what are your thoughts on the Trinidad Shameless lawsuit? Do you think he will win his case and be granted another year? Shout out to Nick Bazzelli, or my good friend and old professor at college, Nick Bazzelli. He was one of my teachers in college and communication school. He taught me a lot, and he has done a lot for me. And there's a lot of people that are in your life, right, that end up, like helping you along the way, that you think, okay, I don't know how this is going to apply to what I'm doing with Pigskin Frenzy or my show. And then you think, oh, wait, it does, right? How are we going to reach out to people for interviews? How are you going to build networks and connections with people? And Nick Bazzelli was a big component in kind of bringing me out of my comfort zone with trying to make connections doing this. So shout out to him. He's amazing. He's awesome. And whoever's in his class right now, you're going to be lucky. You're lucky to have him, man. He is awesome. So he listens to my show, and I'm very thankful that he does. He's awesome. Great friend to our show as well. What are your thoughts on the Trinidad Chambliss lawsuit? Do you think he will win his case and be granted another year? So to answer his question, there's a two-parter to this. There's a okay, Joel, what do you want and what do you hope for? And what do you think's actually going to happen? Here's what I want to happen. I would love to see Trinidad Chambliss at Ole Miss one more year. I really would. I think Trinidad Chambliss deserves another shot. I think that there's a lot of broken things in the NCAA. I've said that for the longest time. There's a lot of stuff that does not make sense in terms of the NCAA. So I think this is one of them. I really do. If he had, I think he had respiratory issues, if I'm not mistaken, or a medical issue when he was at Ferris State for 1 year, and it sidelined him for pretty much half the season, I believe. I'm not sure. And he is trying to get 1 more year of eligibility to maybe up his draft stock. And the thing is crazy is he did a lot of good this year to where NFL scouts would probably want to draft him now. So there's parts to this, right? So that's one. The want for me is, yes, I would love to see him in. Here's what's actually going to happen, in my opinion, or my thoughts, what I think will happen. What I think will happen is he's gone and Deuce Knight's going to start at Ole Miss. I think that's what's going to end up happening. I think Deuce Knight's going to be the starting quarterback at Ole Miss. I agree with Deuce Knight being the starting quarterback. I have nothing against Deuce Knight. I think he's a heck of a quarterback and will be a heck of a quarterback at Ole Miss. I just think that Trinidad Chambliss should get another year. I really do. I mean, if he's missing a year of eligibility due to an injury, I don't think injuries or anybody can help injuries. I think injuries, it's like, okay, that year's a waste. I'm hurt. I can't play. I want to get another shot. Give me one more shot. If I get hurt again, then, oh well, probably, but it still stinks. You know what I mean? That, okay, I got one big injury that made me miss 1 whole year, and I can't get another shot. You know what I mean? Chandler Morris is the same way, from Virginia and North Texas and TCU. He's the same way. It's the same way looking at Chandler Morris and just seeing what he went through with the knee injury and the ACL injury. So for me, I would give Morris and Chambliss another just 1 more year of eligibility. 1 more year. You gave Pavia a year because of like the JUCO stuff and everything, right? And the junior college thing and the lawsuit with the junior college, and it shouldn't affect how you do in Power 4 football, right? And in D1 football, JUCO and university, like 4-year schools, right? JUCO eligibility, that shouldn't count towards eligibility and all that. That's what the whole argument was and all that. They gave Pavia another year of eligibility, and he did quite well. He was a Heisman finalist. So, look, I don't argue that, and I don't argue Diego Pavia getting another year of eligibility. I don't. But if you're going to give him another year of eligibility for a JUCO thing, you might as well give Chambliss and Morris waivers and 1 year clearance and waivers for 1 more year due to injury, right? I think injuries are more important because you cannot help them. So what I think is going to happen, I think Deuce Knight's going to be the starting quarterback. I don't think he will win his case. I think he won't be granted another year. That's just I will be shocked if he does. Now, do I want it to happen? I do want him to win the lawsuit. I do want him to get another year of eligibility. I really do. I think he deserves it. So hopefully he does. We'll see what happens. Another question is, in the NIL era, which other school historically has a losing record can be like Indiana and become a juggernaut? That's a good question. Very good question. Historically has a losing record and has a shot at becoming a juggernaut. Because you can think about it in a lot of ways. There's a lot of teams that historically has had losing records that can become a juggernaut. To me, and this is the best way I can answer the question, I don't know if they've historically had a losing record or not. I feel like if you talk about the Big Ten, Michigan State could be a team that's on the rise again. I mean, if you want that, I can give you another one. I think Virginia, in the way Virginia's doing, I think what Virginia's doing is doing some really good things. Tony Elliott got Bo Pribula. He got them. He's got Eli Holstein as well through the portal. That's going to be a quarterback battle there. Pribula went from Mizzou to Virginia. Holstein went from Pitt to Virginia. It's going to be a quarterback battle there. What Tony Elliott has done overall, it's not been the best, right, at Clemson. Or not Clemson, I mean at Virginia. He came from Clemson. At Virginia. But I will say this. This past season, he turned it up a notch. He turned it up a level. And he turned it up a level because he knew this was probably his last chance, right? And he made the most of that chance, and he went all out and went all in. He went all in with it and went all the chips were at the table. And Tony Elliott went all the way to the ACC championship. They went to the Gator Bowl against Mizzou. Yeah, they lost the ACC title game, but they had a shot at the ACC title, and they had a shot at a playoff berth. I didn't think they were going to be that. I thought they were going to be at least in the 17 ACC league, 14, 15, and finish that in the conference. But they did it. They didn't. They finished quite well in the conference. So, and then at the top of the conference. So all that to say is that I think Virginia has a really good shot. If Virginia keeps using NIL well, utilizing the resources that they have in front of them well, and build that team atmosphere, that team culture, kind of like what Indiana did, Virginia has a shot at running the table and has a shot at becoming, I wouldn't say, really a juggernaut, but becoming like what Indiana has built there. So I think Virginia's a good team to look at. I really do. I think they're a good team to look at. I'm going to keep saying this, and I really hope I get him on the show as well. Do not sleep. And this is a pre-spoiler for June for the ACC conference standing projections. Don't count out Jake Dickert in Wake Forest. I did, it was his first year. I said they were going to finish last in the conference. Guess what? They did it. They were 9-4. They had a 9-win season. I'm going to tell y'all what, man, Wake Forest. Watch out for Wake Forest next year. In his second year, he led into a 9-win season in his first season there. Watch out for Wake Forest, man. They were really good this year. And a lot of people did not focus on that, but I believe that they will focus on that. I think they had they tried against Georgia Tech. They had some games where we're thinking, oh, they had us at the edge of a seat. They were at least a couple of wins away from being an 11-win team. So watch out for Wake Forest, man. I'm telling you what, watch out for them. I'm just going to let y'all know now. Wake Forest can be a team if they utilize their portal, utilize the NIL. I know the fan base. They just got to win consistently to get a bigger fan base in there. And if they can continue to win consistently, build up the NIL revenue, build up some things, they can be a really good team. So watch out for them. They played really good this year. Let's see what happens in year 2. So that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. Here's another question. This is an awesome question. Shout out to Noah Crow, friend of the show. He asked this as well. As a guy who was from and lived in Mississippi at one time, how cool was it to see Ole Miss go so far in the college football playoff? Awesome. It was awesome to see them go far in the playoff. I enjoyed watching them make that run. I know there was a lot of the drama with Lane Kiffin and a lot of the drama with him going to LSU, but I will say this, man. What they did throughout the season was remarkable. Only had one loss to Georgia. Everyone was saying, okay, they're going to have to lose. A lot of people want Lane Kiffin. Florida wants Lane Kiffin. LSU's looking to try to get, inside the Kiffin sweepstakes, which they ultimately won the sweepstakes. But they're trying to get into that. And all of a sudden, you're like, okay, they got to lose something. Somebody lose, And Ole Miss wasn't losing. They weren't budging. They made it all the way to the Fiesta Bowl. Even when Lane Kiffin left, they made it all the way into the Fiesta Bowl. So they made it a deep run. It was awesome to see the state rally around, had a home playoff game, even though it was, everyone's going to say, oh, it's against Tulane. It still didn't matter. It was a home playoff game against a conference champion. It was awesome to see it. And they had a rematch. They won, and they made it all the way to the Sugar Bowl. And they beat Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, which was crazy. I didn't think they were going to beat Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, and they did. And they ended up going to the Fiesta Bowl and playing a really close game until the very end against Miami. They were literally one score away from going to the national championship. An amazing season from Ole Miss. An amazing season. I didn't think it was going to be this team. I thought it was going to be last year's team, but it was this year's team. So congratulations to Ole Miss, man. They had a heck of a season. So awesome to see that. Another question is, why can't it seem like the College Ball Playoff Committee make up its mind on how many teams? One year it's 4, then 12, and now they're trying to go for 24. It's not really just the College Ball Playoff Committee because it's all ran by the conferences. You look at the SEC, it seems like they wanted that 16. They still probably want the 16 model, I believe, but now they're okay with 12 is what I'm hearing. If I believe they want 12 instead of 24, right? The Big Ten's the only one that wants 24. Nobody else does. So it's really the conferences mainly, not really just the College Ball Playoff Committee itself. It's the conferences. So we got to talk to them about that. No, I'm not a fan of the 24 team playoff. I think it's dumb. I think that it is a money grab. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be bold and just say it. It's a money grab. It doesn't. What is it gonna do? What's it gonna benefit? It's not gonna benefit anything. It's gonna prolong everything. Prolong things that need to be fixed ahead of the playoff. My understanding, just my thing. I don't know why conferences want to expand the playoff how it is. I like it how it is. I think 12 is great for now. I really do. Because guess what? You prove it on the field. Look, the BCS was all computerized, and you're thinking, we need a playoff. Play it on the field. Okay, we'll play it on the field. You did a 14 playoff, and everyone's like, okay, 14's good, but we want more teams in because there are some teams that are being left out that deserve to be in. Okay, sure. We want the group of 5 in, right? They need to be included. Okay, we brought the 12-team playoff, and we made it to a point where, okay, well, now they have a shot at getting in, right? They have a shot at getting in. Now, they don't want the group of 5 in. They want them out. Or a group of 6, rather, now, because the group of 6 will happen with the Pac-12 in 2020, this year in 2026. So they don't want the G6 in. They want them out. I mean, it's like everybody's going to complain, right? There's going to be something else to complain about. And I understand that, but at the same time, what are you going to do? Here's my deal. Instead of expanding it, because look, you go to 24, it's not going to be enough anyway. It's not to you, we don't have enough teams in. 24, what do you mean? How about you do this? How about you win? That's what my whole philosophy is this. Prove it on the field and earn it on the field. I'm sick of expanding when you're not kind of getting your way. We want this amount of teams in. Well, they should have won. And I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be a jerk, but at the same time, you got to be bold with this stuff. You got to be truthful. Win. That's all you got to do is just win, man. Look, to me, everyone's like, why didn't Texas get in? Look, dude, 3 losses. I don't think a 3-loss non-conference champion should get in. No matter if you made the conference championship. Oh, you're going to punish them? BYU made it. They're a 2-loss team. You put them out and put a 3-loss team in. Bama got blown out by Georgia. It doesn't make it. See, that stuff doesn't make any sense, right? So, yeah, but they played them twice and they beat Georgia once. Okay, that's the only argument. But I'm going to sit here and say this. A 3-loss non-conference champion, which Bama was the first, by the way, this year, should not get in the playoff, in my opinion. If you lose so many games, you're out. If you lose 3 and up, you're out. That's my philosophy. So, to me, I think it should stay at 12. So, I don't – it's not really them making up their minds. It's everybody else in the conference is trying to debate on what to do, right? So, I think 12 is the right number. 12 is the right number. Do you think that South Dakota State, North Dakota State, and other powerhouses in the FCS will move up since they saw the success that James Madison has had so far? I don't know about that. I wouldn't think so, but you never know. You never know what could happen in college football. Anything could happen in college football, man. There's a lot of teams who have gone down from FBS to FCS and are killing it at the FCS level. So I don't know about that. But I can tell you what, it's enticing, isn't it? It's enticing to see James Madison come from the FCS to the FBS and join the Sun Belt Conference in the G6. And you're thinking, oh, they won the Sun Belt. They made it to the college ball playoff. It's enticing to look at that. So maybe North Dakota State, maybe South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits, the Bison, maybe those schools look at that and go, okay, maybe we need to get in on the G6. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. But right now, I would not think so. So that's just me. That is just me. This is a funny one. This is a funny question, actually. Are you growing a beard? Someone asked me that. Yeah, I guess I am growing a beard, a slight beard. I don't know why someone. I guess they just saw it on Pigskin Tuesday. Yeah, slightly. Thank you for noticing on Pigskin. Anyway, another question. This is a good one. Since Indiana did the unthinkable, name 5 teams you think could do the same. I mentioned Virginia. I think Virginia can do it. I think I don't know, man. I mean, back in the day, Virginia Tech was really good, and they were at national championship level good with Michael Vick and everybody. I think James Franklin can bring Virginia Tech back to that. I think Virginia Tech is going to be back to that here shortly. They got Ethan Grunkemeyer from the portal. He's most likely going to be their starting quarterback. I believe Vatek with Inner Sandman, with Metallica playing in there, I believe that Vatek can be really good. I really do. I think Virginia Tech has a shot at being really good coming up in this year and beyond. I think that's one. I think Virginia Tech. I would watch out for honestly did the unthinkable. You're talking about like underdog type teams. I think Michigan State could make a name. I mean, I think Pat Fitzgerald, what he can do there is great. The resources at Michigan State. A lot of people don't look at the resources at Michigan State and what they have, but it's not terrible, obviously. So I think what he could do is utilize the resources that he has there, go out and build a team, and build a culture there at Michigan State that a lot of people, okay, we want to play for him, right? So kind of like what Signetti is doing in Indiana. I think Michigan State could be one of those teams. I really do. So if you want to look at underdog type teams, really, Virginia Tech, Michigan State, man, if you want to talk about something that's who's done really well in the portal and has done really well so far recruiting wise, I think Oklahoma State has a shot. I would like to think that Oklahoma State can do something with Eric Morris. The way they are building, right, and the way they pretty much got all their team from North Texas into Oklahoma State. Now it's like, okay, a Power 4 version of North Texas, pretty much. But Mestamaker is a good quarterback. Caleb Hawkins is a beast of a running back. They got some good receivers around him. I think Eric Morris is a heck of a play caller. I think Oklahoma State has got a shot to build off that and run with it. So give me Oklahoma State. So we got Virginia Tech, Michigan State, and Oklahoma State. We need one more. I think the one more to me that I think could do the same. And a lot of people are going to say, dude, they're not really an underdog. I mean, they've turned into an underdog after what happened, kind of. I would think Penn State could be back in that mix. I really like Matt Campbell. They picked up Rocco Beck from the portal. He's going to be their starting quarterback in 2026. I really like what the Nittany Lions can bring up there. Is the portal class at Penn State is top 10. It's pretty good. Recruiting, like high school recruiting, is taking a huge hit. So I don't expect recruiting high school wise to be a whole lot. A whole lot of it. It's fantastic, right? It's probably not going to be the best in 2026, but I do expect the high school recruiting class to be really good in 2027. And I expect the portal class to keep going as well. I think Matt Campbell utilizing the resources there and knowing what he can do with Pat Kraft and company there at Penn State. I think the sky's the limit there, and I think the Nittany Lions can be that 15 that I just named that could do the same under Matt Campbell. A lot of people are going to look at James Franklin as you got rid of him for a lesser move. I think it could be a lateral move, technically, on the same level, really. I think Matt Campbell's a really good coach. What he did with Iowa State was tremendous. Iowa State was dead in the water, dude. He's brought them back up. He brought them to the conference championship last year. Like, seriously, he has done quite well in the Big 12. I think Matt Campbell could do that at Penn State and win a lot of games there. So I like Matt Campbell at Penn State. That's my 5 teams. Virginia, Virginia Tech, Michigan State, Oklahoma State, Penn State. I like that. Couple more questions, and then I guess we're going to wrap up, I guess, as we look here. So, if the national championship is on par with the Super Bowl, why did it feel like just another game while watching on TV? And if it is like the Super Bowl, shouldn't it be on ABC? Well, interesting question. I think it's about perspective, to me, if you want to look at it that way. The national championship, to me, is like the Super Bowl because I'm a college football guy. It's the college football version of the national championship, right? So, 100%, right? As I'm getting a report here. So, yes, I think it's perspective, right? It's all about perspective. So, how do I answer this in the best way I can? So, perspective as in it's your opinion if you think it's not like the Super Bowl or not. I think, to me, it is like the Super Bowl because it's the college football version of the Super Bowl. That's what everyone's playing for. That bronze football trophy, as well as the crystal ball trophy, because I mean, let's be honest, I would love to play for that crystal ball trophy. That was my trophy growing up. So when you look at it, I can see why it feels like another game. I can also see why it doesn't feel like another game. I think the reason why, let me just put it this way, because I'm beating around the bush and I'm not answering it well. Let me answer it in this way. It's about perspective. That's number one. Number two is, why did it feel like another game while watching on TV? Okay. I think, to me, the later, and this is going to be a good ending to the question, ending as a segue to my last question, because we're going to do that question as well. I think, to me, when you look at the just feels like another game narrative with a national championship, there's so many gaps within the playoff and within the national championship. Like, for example, first round. First round happens. All the games are done. Okay. Week off. And then 2 weeks later, there's New Year's. There's the semifinal. And then the next week is the quarterfinal. Then the next week after the bye or whatever, you have 1 week, and then the semifinals the next week. So first round, nothing happening. Quarterfinal, semifinal, nothing happening. National championship. So it's like there's gaps, and I think that's why the later the calendar goes, and this is why I don't like expanding, and I cannot stand that. If you want to expand in the future, probably yes, go for it. I will say we need to fix the calendar before we expand everything, though. I've already mentioned that on Pigskin a couple of days ago on Tuesday. So, to me, it feels like another game, maybe because of how late it is, maybe, if that makes sense. And you're thinking, how does that make sense? Well, it's like, oh, it's college football. It's just getting later, It just feels like another game, and it just doesn't feel right? Because usually the national championship, when I grew up, it was either going to be on New Year's or like the week after New Year's. When the week of the semifinals, that's when the national championship in the season normally finished. I'm still up for that. I'm still wanting to finish it then. That's when I want to finish it, either at New Year's or that week. I want to finish it then. I would love to finish the season that way, because I just don't think the later it goes on, the less interested people get. And I think that's a huge thing. And if it is like the Super Bowl, shouldn't it be on ABC? I think it should be on ABC. I think it should be on Fox. I think it should be on CBS. I think that it should be on multiple networks. I think the playoffs should be on multiple networks. So to answer your question on that, I think the playoffs should be on multiple networks. I really do. I think it should be like the NFL because it seems like college football, like I said on Tuesday, is taking an approach to where they're trying to be like the NFL. So if you're trying to be like the NFL, do it then. Model yourself after the NFL. Do it that way. I'm for that. I'm for it. ABC 1 year, Fox 1 year, CBS 1 year, and rotate it. The Super Bowl's on NBC this year, right? Next year it'll probably be on CBS or Fox or whatever, right? Rotate it. You rotate it each and every time. ABC just joined the fray again for the Super Bowl. It took a long hiatus. Now ESPN/ABC is back in the mix for the rotation for the Super Bowl. So you rotate. I think college football should take the same approach. I really do. So I hope that answers your question. Hopefully it does. And hopefully it's, a better thing, I guess. Better question, better thing, I guess. I don't know. We'll see it on there. So that's a good question. I like that. Last question, really. Last question, and we'll wrap up. And shout out to excuse me as I clear my throat. Shout out to Alexander Cabrera. Alexander Cabrera at Breezy Tide on Instagram. Man, he is doing a great job. He is doing awesome. His cooking is fantastic, by the way. So go and look at his cooking channel. Go and look at his views, his content on cooking. He makes great food. I need to try some Breezy Tide food, man. Some Breezy Tide cooking. I need to try some of that. It looks great. So shout out to him. He asked a great question. He's a listener of the show. Shout out to him. The 16 and 12 team playoff pros and cons. So it's kind of a question. What is the pros and cons to a 16 and 12 team playoff? Well, I'll do my best to answer it. So I dug up a couple of notes. I mean, pros for me. And this is just a personal opinion. I think 12's plenty. I really do. I mean, I think it offers a lot of exciting first round games if you don't include the G6 conference championships. And I know I just said they deserve to be in and all that. Yes, it's by rule that they're supposed to be in, but if they weren't in, you could get a lot of exciting games. I believe the 16 team model can do it as well. I think if you look at it's improved over 4 team because you add more inclusion to the 4 teams. So that's a pro about it. I think the top seed buys are cool because it kind of looks like the NFL and taking the NFL approach with it. So it's cool. The look of it is cool. So those are some pros to it. I think the cons overall for the 12 team are the buys. And it's so crazy to say that. I just said, okay, the buys, the looks of the buys look cool. So the look and the structure of the 12 team is cool to me. The revenue, all of it is cool. If you look at the actual buys, though, and the gaps, I think the calendar and the gaps hurt it, and that's a big con about the 12 team. If you look at the pro of the 16 team, you get rid of buys. It also can cause, as a con for the 16 team, it can cause strain and injury for players. If you look at it that way, it can cause increased injuries, maybe. I think if you put a 16 team, and this is a con about the 16 team. So if you put a 16 team playoff in right now with how the calendar is, it's going to be a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. You're playing until February at that point, so it's like an already a nightmare. I don't know how it would work with auto qualifiers and all that, but I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some auto qualifiers if a 16 team playoff happened. So pros for me for the 12 are there's less teams. The season ends earlier than it would during the 16 team playoff, so that's a pro for me. The structure of it is like the NFL. I would say this year there were more exciting first round games than there were last year. And and the structure of it looks like an NFL type of structure, so it's pretty cool. The con of it is the buys are horrible because they all lose. Besides Indiana, they all lose. So I think that is a con of the 12 team. The pros are no bye weeks. I think no bye weeks is pretty good for the 16 team. That's a good way of looking at it. There's no buys. Everybody there's another pro. You have another shot at having have a first round, second round, quarterfinal. You have a shot at having 2 weeks worth of on-campus playoff games. So I think that's a pro to the 16 team. I think a con to the 12 team is not having more on-campus playoff games. So I think that's a pretty good one as well. I think the con of the 16 team is that the scheduling, and it goes on for a very long time. And not only that, it can increase strain on players maybe. I think those are some of the cons of the 16-team playoff. I really do. And you get other conferences in. It's like auto qualifiers come in, and it's like, okay, it's not enough when technically it is enough. So, honestly, I would keep it at 12 and just fix the calendar before we do anything else. Because the reason why, it's funny to think this, and the commissioner, Josh Pate, thinks the same way as I do on a lot of this. You're trying to fix what doesn't need to be fixed. The playoff does not need to be fixed. You're not fixing everything else around it. So it's like, okay, you know what we're going to do? You're complaining about college football the way it is? I'll tell you what needs to be fixed in the playoff. No, it doesn't need to be fixed. The playoff's fine. 12 teams good for me. You know what I say? Win. That's what I say. Get in. If you want to get in, win. Don't expand it. I think expanding it is making it an easier route for you to get in. No, win. Play football and win. You lose, better luck next year and try again. That's how it should be done. You win and earn it on the field. Everything else about college football needs to be fixed. It's like the calendar, the portal, NIL. There needs to be a salary cap on NIL. Signing day, early recruiting, like for high school recruiting, national signing day needs to be fixed as well. I think the calendar overall, and that all aligns with the calendar. The calendar is the biggest thing that needs to be fixed in this sport, not the playoff. So that's how I'll end it. That's how it will be for me, man. Guys, it was a very, very fun 2025 postseason Q&A, and we are out of time. A big thank you for taking some time out of your Thursday to just sit back, watch, and listen to some college football coverage presented by me. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like each episode, leave comments down below. Spotify, Podbean, and Apple, all you got to do is just share around with others and follow on there as well. X and Instagram is at Pigskin_Frenzy. Follow, like the pages there. You're going to get episode updates, news and highlights from across college and NFL football, and more on X and Instagram at Pigskin_Frenzy. The website's www.pigskinfrenzy.weebly.com for more. Guys, like I said, 6,400 listeners across all audio platforms, 6,500 listeners coming, and we're about to be at 74,000 channel views on YouTube. A big thank you, because without you guys, we would not be doing this. And without our Lord Jesus, we give him all the glory and all the praise, because without him, we would not be in college football media. Guys, Tuesday, we are going to recap the transfer portal. We're going to go over the rankings. We're going to talk about who's won, who's kind of lost the portal. We're going to talk about some of the guys who were in the portal and who went to these schools, and more. So we're going to recap as the portal window is closed. We're going to give you a full in-depth episode of the 2026 transfer portal window. So that's on Tuesday, and we're going to recap the portal on Tuesday. So until Tuesday, guys, I'm Joel Norris. We're signing off. Have a great weekend. Stay warm, because it's going to be cold. As always, we're praying for you all, and we love you all. Stay the course.